Yeah.
I think that's the one thing happened over probably pandemic that I've been thinking about more consciously.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh, I tried to
goodness.
get them
Did you
for
get
you.
both of us?
Yeah. I was like, how did that happen?
Oh, that'll end up on the best play cam right there. Have you found yourself? You said this is your first new console. Are you kind of leaning on it more now that everybody's staying at home, like because of the pandemic?
You know, I I did it, ironically, for research purposes.
Really?
So the last few years, I've been working a lot with college students around esports and gaming,
Okay.
and I felt like a poser, right? Like if I'm going to talk about esports or gaming in general, like I at least need to have something,
Uh
and
huh.
I didn't want to spend the amount of money on a nice PC to really do that, and I knew what it took to kind of keep that up to date, and
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't keep up the cost back when I was in college, and so. But I also miss console gaming. I really just loved Nintendo. I love my PS2, all that. So I was like, oh, let's just go ahead and see if I can get this PS5. And so then it became a game to figure out if I can actually get the PS5, right? Because everyone was trying to get it, and there's no supply,
Yeah.
and you're fighting against bots on Twitter. So it just was a rough time. So
How
I'm
how
trying
were
to.
you able to get one? Like, you just stay up all night and or stay in line somewhere?
Yeah, I just watched. I just started liking everything on Twitter around updates, and
Uh
I
huh.
just hunted and just waited to see if I can get an update. And then I looked at the trends online. They talked about what time to look, and I lucked out. But it took about 5 or 6 tries and frustrations. I even sent a complaint to Target because I was in the queue about to ring it up, and it just said no, you don't get it.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome though. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, I'm excited about it. And then yeah, and my wife kind of laughed at me, like I said, when I said it's for research purposes, but it's gonna be fun too.
What do you think? I see you got kind of you pick somebody that looks closest to you in the game, and that's usually what I do.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's kind of funny
I'm
because a lot of times I purposely or a lot of times I intentionally choose a female character in the game too as the
okay.
avatar,
Mhm.
and so I go back and forth because I think there's like a meta part of the conversation that I always try to push is one assumptions we make about identities and how we show up in games versus real life, or also trying to push us to think beyond who typically plays video games, especially these types of games like first-person shooters. That it's not just for guys, right? And
Mhm.
so on Call of Duty Mobile, a lot of times I actually choose a female character when I'm playing on my phone,
Okay.
and then on this one, I've just kind of stuck with this character for a while just because I was getting used to the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. Yeah. I'd heard that you've done some Comic Con panels and college panels talking about the importance of diversity in media, like video games and movies. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I it makes me sad because there's some definitely maybe a couple moments where I've ran into some really toxic players and having to mute them,
Mhm.
but I appreciate the mute button a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
This is awesome, man, talking to you because I know usually you are at work or you have some type of surveilling equipment in your hand, so I'm not trying to like bother you while you're handling business, man. But
Yeah.
what's that
Yeah.
been like for you? Transition to that.
I've had a lot of fun with it. It's been kind of scary, being in charge of everything, but it's always a blast to be able to be like, oh yeah, you're a pretty important and recognizable, OU figure,
Yeah.
and you would recognize me at games and say hi, and it's like that alone is a really neat part of it, but also just being able to capture, whether it's OU going to the Big 12 tournament or the Big 12 championship or the Cotton Bowl, or capturing events like here, like the Burt Sit-In,
Yeah.
like that's a pretty big part of OU's history now. That or like Norman, the protests that were in Norman over the
Mm,
summer,
yeah.
being able to help document that, it's a really awesome experience.
Yeah, that was really emotional at that time, man.
Were you able to go to any of those?
Yeah, I was actually in the march that happened in Norman,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, being a student who graduated from here and seeing something like that happen in solidarity with community, you know, many years later was
Mhm.
really, it was really impactful. Actually, I remember walking, walking with the group going south on, I think it was University, and I think I was like silent, just listening to folks chant because at that point in time, not only were we managing the pandemic, but we were managing the other pandemic that's racialized for folks that look like you or me. And I just
Mhm.
remember thinking really that I appreciated folks who were speaking up and expending their energy and time, and I didn't have to. I could just be silent
Mhm.
and walk with a group and knowing that regardless of whether they've fully understood what was going on, that they were still trying to do something and commit to some type of action that would show solidarity and support.
Yeah.
It was wild.
So do you spend much time on campus anymore nowadays?
Yeah, I've been on campus probably at least 3 times a week since July.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm here pretty often. You know, I got a lot of staff between housing and Goddard who just never left. They've been doing it, so I tried to one, just be here, be present where I can when it's not getting in their way, and then once the semester started, I wanted to learn how to be safe, but also how to role model how to be safe and also still engage with community and be available. So it's been,
Yeah.
it's been good.
I know it's kind of this little section of the map right here is like horror movie-esque because you're literally in a cornfield, you know, like not the most pleasant experience.
All right, are you into horror movies at all?
I'm into not really. Not really. I've watched them
This was
before.
not a test at all.
I enjoy them, you know. I will watch them like with friends, but they do kind of terrify me. I don't like enjoy being terrified. It's just kind of
totally
like
okay.
yeah, like watching what was the name of the movie? Not the other Jordan Peele movie, not Get Out, but
Oh, I think it's Us, right?
Us. Yeah, watching Us like that alone, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of freaky."
Hi, can I help you?
Zora, put your shoes on.
If you want to get crazy, we can get crazy. What are you people?
It's us.
You know,
Yeah, that was a trip. I watched that with my mom. That was her first time being in a movie theater, I think, in like decades, because she's a homebody, and I was like, Mom, let's go watch Us. She liked scary movies. She
oh
she
my
was so mad at me.
goodness.
I think for her, she was like, "This is stupid." I was like, "No, this is so good." But you know, Jordan Peele kind of has a way of making you think a little bit too with the horror. So I think that she was like, not really feeling it. She's the kind of person who can watch, you know, Law and Order and SVU or true crime stories. That's the kind of stuff that she likes. I was like, oh sorry, Mom. I'll have to show you the picture of her and I when we celebrated after watching Us. And she was still, you know, happy, but not as happy as I was. I've been watching a lot more television than I probably should, but that's been actually the relief, I think, from pandemic, is like getting into different shows.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one of the things with like Netflix is that when you don't know when there's like a beginning or an end to, say, a global pandemic, it's nice to have a show that has an arc to it, that you know each episode is an hour, 30 minutes, and there's going to be an end to it, right? And
It's gonna be resolved.
There's like a psychological comfort in that, or watching familiar shows. So Star Trek was on the list. I started watching Avatar. Gosh, what else have I been watching? Just a lot of random stuff.
Yeah, they've kind of added a lot of throwbacks lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Cobra Kai is really good. Did you watch Karate Kid at all?
I watched Karate Kid, but I have not watched Cobra Kai now.
There is no good Look at this freak.
There is no bad.
Only weak, but strong.
No, yeah. It's not great, but it's really good at the same time. It's hard to explain that, but it's worth it. So I've already got it kind of mapped out. So we've got land in Porter. We've got access to plenty of guns because my brother-in-law is a big gun aficionado. So I said, okay, I'm going to pull you in. And my wife is good at growing things, so we can sustain ourselves on the land.
Okay.
And that's our plan. Not that I already thought about this, but I have.
No plans to like flee to Canada or flee to somewhere else?
Yeah, yeah, I can't. You never know, man. When you watch the movies, you can't make any assumptions about whether Canada or Mexico are inhabitable at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. They'll just be like, oh, we're fleeing to Nevada or fleeing to Canada or somewhere. Like, that's where the safe zone is, or that's where the vaccine is, you know?
Yeah. Oh, really?
The knife. I hate people that run around with the knife
Yeah,
all
I was
mad.
like, that person has been really getting this.
We're winning, though. We'll be able to end on a win, hopefully.
Oh, yes. Stay on that streak.
Oh, my gosh. Do you ever get, like, real profane or, like, a different version of yourself when you play?
You know, my wife did say, I haven't heard you cuss that much in a long time. And so I think I did have to like think about that when I was playing my nephew. so yeah, you had to. I definitely had to make a conscious effort to be better about that. And, oh, dang.
I got you. I avenged you.
Thank you. And I think honestly it was because I was so surprised by the sound effects and the quality of it all. It was information overload, and that made me come out of character.
I feel that. Kind of immerses you in it. Like,
Yeah.
you get really in the zone, you know, and then you just want to say whatever comes to mind
Yeah.
once you're there. So I had to tell my friend last night, I was like, I have an important video tomorrow, and I was like, and I cannot cuss like at all. I was like, if I
Oh,
do,
we
they're
lost?
gonna have to bleep it out. Oh.
We lost by 1.
And I didn't. Oh wait, no, I was like, and I didn't get best play. I'm like this right here. When I did it, I was like,
You
I didn't
got
want to
it.
say it. I didn't want to jinx myself, but I was like, I think I
Oh,
got
this is
best
good.
play.
I'm recording this one. Great. Save short clip. Nice.
That was number 4, and I think I got number 5 like right after that. That was great. That was great.
I don't want to go out on a loss.
I know.
I think I have time for one more if you got time.
I do. I
Let's
do.
do it. Let's do it.